Hey everybody, welcome to Ponytails Talking Pigskins. My name is Laurie Fitzpatrick, and today is the Jaguars edition, episode 2. And it's Monday, August 9th, and we just got done the very first scrimmage. Jacksonville Jaguars had their scrimmage first team, second team, 7 on 7, 11 on 11. They got a lot done first. They were not going to, well, they were going to be in pads. And then they actually came out without pads on. They had like the spider pads where, you don't want to hit each other too much. So it kind of became like a two-hand touch thing, which was interesting. We all thought that they were going to come out in pads and it was going to be more of a game. But unfortunately, that wasn't the only surprise. We also didn't even get to see it on the Jaguars website. So all week they were saying that they were going to have coverage, not knowing that the coverage was just going to be prior to the game. So a lot of people were actually kind of upset about that. But hey, that's what scrimmages are for. It's really for the team, for the coaches to kind of know where the players are at. It's more of a walkthrough per se, and it's really just to kind of get everybody on the same page, kind of do some soft drills, 2 minute drills, things like that, like basically a scrimmage, right? So they had Minshew out with the first team. He came out first. He didn't, do too bad, but Lawrence, from everything I read and all the videos that I saw, Lawrence was the better player. He went 7 for 9. He had that deep pass to Laquan Treadwell that everybody saw from one of the fans to post that. Woo! And then the Jaguar PR department was like, "Hey, everybody already saw it, so let's just throw this video out." And then we got another angle from Treadwell's standpoint. From behind the field, we got to see Trevor really roll out, make that throw, and then Treadwell be able to kind of dive and make that catch. So it was nice. It was good. Unfortunately, I didn't get to make any clips of it, and that's really what my main focus is when I'm on Twitter. I'm trying to break down those players and each video, add my little graphics to it. But yeah, it was an interesting scrimmage. There was a lot of connections with O'Shaughnessy. So I heard a lot about him, how he's basically the main guy out there, the main tight end. So he's going to be the guy that we're most likely is going to be that number one. The second guy who actually got some news was Walker Little. So right before the scrimmage on Sunday, a couple days prior, he was actually practicing as the right tackle. So Urban, in his latest presser, said that they want to have a swing guy, right? They want to have a guy that can play both left and right tackle. I believe Will Richardson was a guy to kind of take that role last year because there were some injuries. So we may see Walker Little actually get some snaps, some reps, and we'll see how he does in front of Juwan Taylor and in front of Cam Robinson, because those two guys are really, they're the main guys right now. So if Walker Little, wants to have a chance to play, he has to do better than them too. So it's just a matter of them not playing at their potential, and not really like Walker Little being above and beyond, because he still, he took an entire year off. Then he was injured the year before, so there's not a ton of film on him. He didn't get a lot of reps, being active, so he still has some work to do. But honestly, at this point, he's doing really well and really coming along a lot better than what even Urban thought, and that's what he said in the last presser. So I'm pretty happy about it. There's nothing better than the number one quarterback having you know tackles to fight over, right? So it's awesome. Um, some guys that are kind of on the chopping block right now. We're not really sure which wide receivers are going to be the guys that take it. That take that spot. So there's Laquan Treadwell that was brought in. One of the most recent guys. he actually, Brian Schottenheimer said that he was going to be practicing, or he was going to be playing on the inside. So as opposed to Treadwell being on the outside majority of his career, now he's going to play on the inside, and we'll see how that see how that works out. These preseason games are going to be crucial. Then you have Colin Johnson. He's another guy that he's actually on the outside more. So, but he's a tall guy. He's got great hands, so it's going to be between those two, Philip Dorsett, Farrell Cooper. Those guys are really the guys that we don't know who's going to win these spots. Maybe only two of these guys actually get it. So it's going to be important to watch those guys during preseason because we're going to know who's going to be that fourth, fifth. I don't think Agnew is really in the conversation. He's more of a returner, and he can come in whenever whenever a guy kind of steps out. I think he's definitely going to make the roster. It's more about Treadwell, Colin Johnson, Philip Dorsett, Farrell Cooper. I don't think the new guy, Tevin, I don't think he's going to do much. But I'm also not at the practices. I wasn't able to get there. So it's really just about those guys in that second team uh, of the wide receivers. So definitely watch out for them against the Cleveland Browns this weekend. And the game is home, by the way. So a couple of different things that happened this week. In addition to the scrimmage, there were some moves that were made. I believe some guys got put on the COVID list, some got taken off. DJ Chark is going through a surgery on his hand. It's actually one of his fingers where he had like a tendon or some issue where he's fine. He's Urban said he's going to be good to go week one, so I wouldn't be worried too much about DJ Chark at all. But that is something that happened this week. Another thing that happened this week, which was which has been huge news all over Twitter, is CJ Henderson. Apparently, some GMs believe that he is on the trading block and he's being shopped. And it's interesting because I was just on another podcast and we were kind of talking about his affect and kind of how, like, his body language. But he was never a guy that was, really outgoing. He's not like an extrovert that's super. He's not like a, Shaq Griffin or anything. He's not going to come out and make you laugh. He kind of sticks to himself. But that's not what I was referring to on Twitter when I said he seemed unhappy. It just, you know, I understand that when you're coming off an injury and you're not out there on the field, then you get caught with COVID and then you're not out there again and then you have to go through a conditioning test. Yeah, that kind of brings you down a little bit. But there was just something else that I saw. And then you hear Urban Meyer talk about when they drafted Tyson Campbell. Somebody asked Urban Meyer in one of his press conferences, so what's the deal with Tyson? Why did you draft him? Is he an insurance policy for CJ or any of the other cornerbacks? And I don't know if he slipped, but he said, yeah, kind of. And he kind of, drew back a little bit. And then he's like, well, injuries happen. It's a common part of the game. So, you always want to pick up guys that you see that are out there that are good. But when you think about it, the Tyson Campbell pick was kind of high up, and then it comes out that the Jaguars picked up Lorenzo Burns from the Cardinals. Now, he was a guy that went undrafted. The Cardinals picked him up. They claimed him. But when I look at his film, make sure you give me a follow on Twitter because I just posted a thread on him yesterday. He's a pretty physical guy. I really like his game a lot. He had 11 pass breakups in 2018. He had 10 in 2019. I think 10 in 2020. He had a couple interceptions, but he's a physical guy. He was getting blitzed off the edge. He's pretty good in coverage. He's good in man. And I'm going to do a breakdown on him on Twitter. And I hate to use the term breakdown, but it's just tweeting out the videos and the film that I see and showing you, what are those main points that you want to pay attention to when it comes to corners and the things that he does. Maybe he needs to work on, or maybe he did this wrong, or maybe he didn't do it wrong, but the play was still botched because the defense didn't. It wasn't a good call. Wasn't a good play call. So a lot of times there are different things that happen where it's not their fault. I seen a video about Jalen Ramsey the other day where he was in cover three, and CD Lamb had a really good catch on him, or I think it was CD. Pretty sure they're practicing with the Cowboys right now. And then come to find out, he was in cover three, so he didn't get beat. He was just kind of backpedaling and got turned around. Eh, that's the rough life about being a corner. You never really know if it's the coverage or if a wide receiver is doing that well. But it's about awareness, right? You have to be at the right place at the right time, and that's something that Lorenzo does. Like he would a couple of the interceptions that he has, in college, he actually caught them like he was the wide receiver. He caught them in stride. There was one he caught over the shoulder. So he's got some pretty good catching techniques, and I really like him as a ball player. So, other news that's really going around, you know, there's not much, to be honest. I mean, with the scrimmage coming up this Saturday and then the cuts after that on Monday or Tuesday, it's really just about this upcoming preseason game against the Browns. I'm going to be excited to see which corners are on the field. Tyson Campbell was practicing with the ones and twos at the last two like scrimmages, 11 on 11. So he's probably going to be the guy that's going to be out there on the outside. So I'm excited to see him and Shaq against Odell Beckham. I'm excited to see, how Walker Little does against that, really good defensive line that they have. And, who's going to play at the linebacker position? Uh, is it going to be Damien out there? Is it going to be Schobert? You're not really sure. So I think, it's not going to be, hey, this game is going to tell us who's going to play where, because a lot of the times the starters, don't even play. But because this is a new team, Urban's a new coach. There's a lot of new guys out there. We're going to have a really good idea of who can do what, uh, because Urban is playing guys at brand new places. So uh, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today, and I just wanted to get this quick episode out because the scrimmage just concluded on Sunday, and it was unfortunate we didn't get to watch it, but make sure you are following um, me on Sunday, because I'm definitely going to be posting clips of this preseason game and kind of breaking down what everybody does. Let me know, because in my future episodes, I'm going to have videos over here on the side. I'm going to move my face over. We can have videos showing clips of certain players that you guys want to see. Just let me know on Twitter of basically what you guys want to see, and I'll make sure I go over it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be right back here next week after that first preseason game. All right, go Jags.